Hello, hi, I'm Sarah from The Upcoming. A pleasure to speak to you. If you could just begin by introducing the film for us, what can people expect when they watch Foe?
Well, I hope they come into it with an open mind that there are certain genre elements that are in the film, but it kind of I think goes off in a slightly different direction than maybe what they're expecting. So it's not really sci-fi as they get into it. It's much more of a domestic drama, sort of a period piece. I think that takes place in the future. So hopefully that.
Obviously, you originally wrote the book back in 2018, so its ideas have been percolating for a while. What was the first spark of the idea? What were you first thinking about?
Well, yeah, and actually it goes back to even before that. I think I started writing the novel in about 2015, and the first spark came when I attended this award ceremony for an author, and he thanked his wife in a way. He said something like, "I really want to thank my wife Jane for supporting me all these years," and it just in the moment for whatever reason to my ear, I felt like, what else is Jane's thing, other than supporting you? There's something else that she must do, that she has interests, and I started thinking about that type of relationship, and I just wanted to write about it and think more about it, so I started writing the story.
I mean, and probably it's one thing when you have these ideas and your imagination on the page, bringing them to life on screen. How was that process working with Garth? And how did you imagine it? Did you ever conceive it would look as good as it does?
No, not really. I mean, I think everybody, starting from Garth and then including the actors, the musicians, cinematographer, they're all such talented artists, and they really brought the story, which is just words, they really brought that to life in a cinematic way that I'm very grateful for, and I was thrilled to see it for the first time. I mean, to me, the acting is really astounding, and I've always been inspired by music, so the music is also something I'm really excited for people to hear when they watch the film.
And what I think is really interesting, as you sort of mentioned there, is it's in the future, but it feels very tangible. So you're sort of like jumping between time periods somehow. The house feels timeless. Was that really important to kind of get that kind of mixture? It puts people in maybe a different space.
Yeah, absolutely. In a way, I kind of hoped people might feel almost subconsciously that at times the story feels dated when you're in the farmhouse, the truck that Junior drives. And I think part of that is, yes, the story is taking place in the near future, but in a way, the gender dynamics within the marriage are kind of the traditional gender roles, especially in rural areas. So it felt relevant for me that part of the story kind of did feel old-fashioned and dated.
Saoirse, Paul, I think we all knew they were going to be great together, but maybe not sure just how good they would be. And then also the sort of triangle that's created with Aaron's character as well. What was it like seeing these these actors bring the story to life?
It's so exciting and thrilling. I mean, they're such talented actors, and to me, doing something in Foe that they haven't really done before, and it was just really exciting that they were so excited to make this movie, and Aaron as well. I mean, I was really blown away by what Aaron did with the Terrence character. It's very hard to pull off, and all three of them did something that was beyond my expectations.
And just finally, what do you hope people take away? We were just debating there climate change, thinking about the future, the dystopian ideas, but also right at the heart of it about relationships and not taking people for granted.
I mean, I think that's the thing, and you can apply that to the world, but it's really if you take something for granted that you hold dear, I think you risk losing it, and that's true with people and various things in life. So maybe that's something people will think about after seeing it. On that film, just a producer and consultant, but felt very lucky to work with that director, Charlie Kaufman, and he was very nice to me, and I think that experience gave me the confidence to try doing it myself and actually writing the screenplay this time with the director, Garth Davis, in the case of Foe. So it was really nice to have that experience first. Yeah, I mean, not when I'm working on the novel. I feel like that would rattle me and throw me off if I was thinking too much. So I'm kind of focused thinking about the story and thinking about it in the context of the literary. And then if there is interest in the film side, or if someone wants to discuss it in that way, then I try and change my mind over to that side and think about it cinematically. Yeah, no, that's great. I mean, I think there are a lot of sort of, not misdirections, but metaphors in the film, including the environment and climate, space, AI, but really the story for me is about a relationship, and it's about the decline of the relationship for a specific reason, which is taking someone for granted. And I think a lot of people live in their own lives with relationships and maybe don't put the work into those relationships that they weren't. So I hope people question their own relationships and just think about them in a way that maybe they didn't before seeing it. 3 top films? Well, I love Women Talking. That's the one that comes to mind right away because Sarah Polley's Canadian. And so Alma Harrell's Honey Boy, I really like too. She's someone who I've been in touch with a little bit since getting into the film world. And there's a New York-based filmmaker named Ellie Cooney.
Okay.
She has a movie called Our Father the Devil. It just came out this year, actually. It's been playing at some smaller festivals, but she's brilliant, very smart, also a writer and director. So I'm a big fan of what she did. So.